Hi there, my name is Dom. I am going to be going over the Tuft of Flowers by Robert Frost. It can be found on page 1444 to 1445 of the American Literature textbook. My reasoning for picking this particular piece of poetry is, I suppose, first and foremost, that I appreciated the piece. I appreciate the form of it. It is in the form of a couplet, which for me is maybe the easiest form of poetry to read, to understand, and when I'm forced to write it, to write poetry would be in couplet form. I appreciate the piece. If I was to give my understanding of this particular poem, I would first and foremost point to the two phrases which are repeated by Frost. It would seem about midway through, he says it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 10th line of basically the second line of the 5th couplet, or the 10th line of the poem. He says, whether they work together or apart. Essentially, he's saying, as all must be, the worker is the speaker. He's gone into the field following a co-laborer. The co-laborer has previously mowed the field before dawn, as it says in the second line. And the co-laborer is nowhere to be found. But Frost, or the speaker here, says as they sought them out, they found themselves to actually be alone. And whether workers work together or apart, whether they're working together or apart, all must be alone, is essentially what the speaker is reflecting or meditating on, that it's isolation of some sort. As you continue through the poem, you find that he encounters a butterfly. I found it's helpful to not go too much into the butterfly, but simply the butterfly. The speaker uses the butterfly to bring the speaker's attention from his isolation in the environment to a tuft of flowers. And the tuft of flowers causes him to recognize that the mower who he was looking for, who is working alone as he is, seemingly appreciated those flowers. As it says in about line, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, a leaping tongue of bloom the scythe had spared, beside a reedy brook the side had bared, the mower in the dew had loved them thus, by leaving them to flourish not for us. Here he recognizes that this tuft of flowers was not left unintentionally, but that the mower previously appreciated them as he is now appreciating them. That's why I say the butterfly shouldn't distract too much, but simply is used to point to the speaker and the mower having a kindred connection over this tuft of flowers and appreciation of it. And he ends with that, or you could say line, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, line 30, it says, that made me hear the waking birds around. So essentially this butterfly led him to the tuft of flowers that caused him to come back to reality. He heard the waking birds around. He hears his long lost friend, his co-laborer in the field now, his scythe whispering across the ground. And suddenly, instead of in isolation, in verse 32, it would seem, he feels a kindred spirit of his own. He feels a spirit kindred to his own, so that henceforth I work no more alone. Essentially, through appreciation of the beauty of nature, he came to find a friend in his isolation. And that would be my synopsis of the poem. I'm sure I missed much and that you could find much more in there, but thanks.